All right, my people, welcome to another episode of the Honest Hour podcast. Right here, we keep it real. We say it as it YS, as it IS is. And then before we get into today's session, because today we are having a very, very special session. We're having our first ever Coppers edition right here in the Honest Hour podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the situations core members face as a copper. How are you surviving with 33k in this harsh economy? What are your experiences? What are the situations you've had to face? Accommodation, transportation, surviving, and all of that. And then before I introduce our guests and my beautiful co-host, I would like to take a minute to appreciate our sponsors, Zibaha Entertainment, for keeping us afloat and then giving us the platform to be able to share our experiences, our views, and topics on air. And then today with me, I have my two beautiful co-hosts. We have the wonderful Dami Fernandez, and then we have our beautiful and talented Balikis. Let us give a round of applause for our two beautiful hosts. And then we have with us today the amazing, a very, very gallant and vibrant lady, our happening mama, one of the presidents of our CDS, a very popular CDS in Osogbo, the most popular CDS group in Osogbo. We have with us the wonderful Christopher, Joyce, Betty. Let's give a round of applause to our ladies. It's not easy. It's not easy. So let us dive straight inside this topic. No time to waste.
Yeah.
As a copper, we are all core members, and you have brothers, sisters, friends that are core members that have been core members. How are you surviving with 33k? 33k can barely take somebody through 2 weeks, not to talk of an entire month.
Even a week.
Even a week. Do you get?
Should I
when you
shock
talk about transportation,
like the day it is coming, it is gone.
it's going.
I swear.
Like,
Before
you
it
enter
comes,
your
even
account.
it's gone. And then we have people that are taken from the south, and then they are shipped. I would call it shipped. They put them in cargo and they are shipped all the way to the east, or to the west, to the north, without adequate provision for accommodation, especially accommodation, and then even the funding is very, very poor, if I would say.
Yes.
Because right now the economy is extremely harsh. So what are your thoughts in this matter as a core member? What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are the experiences you've had from people, your personal experiences, and how do you think governments can do better for coppers?
Okay, so I want to greet everyone from wherever in this beautiful world you're watching and listening from. My name is Joyce Christopher, as I was well introduced, and I'm honored to be here. Coming down to the topic, I like the fact that we are treating this because as core members, this is one thing that has been giving all of us sleepless nights.
Nights, my dear.
It is not easy, I should say. I'll be very realistic. Because, like you said, we all had our lives going on well in our different states and all of that. So we, this is the phase of our life, right? And we know that different phases come with different experiences, right?
Yeah.
But in as much as we had things going, I think and I feel that if every educated person will go through this phase, adequate provision should be made available.
Exactly.
Coming to the 33k, man is not doing anything. Because even as a salary earner, what would it do for you? Now, bringing it back to we as students, like moved, or let me say shipped, like you said.
We have been shipped. Personally, I was shipped from the south.
From our
From the
comfortable
south
zone
to the west.
So, and we are here in another state where we don't even know anything. Yeah, I know service. One of the things with service here is to, get to know how other things
Gain
are done in
experience.
experience. But I feel that adequate plans should be made, especially with accommodation.
Do you get?
Should be the top of it all.
It should be the top of it all. Like my first week, because this is the honest hour, right? So I also have my own experience. My first week of coming to Oshogbo, it was very, very rough. Very, very rough. If you met with me, you would think I'm someone that they rejected from his hometown, like our own town. Because I came here, I was looking for accommodation. The accommodation prices were not even, they were not friendly at all. Then
For
you are
total
giving
package.
me 33K.
Do you get?
How do I survive? What of people that have responsibilities at home, like they are elderly ones, and they are the ones having to
Especially firstborns.
take care of
Younger
younger
ones.
ones and all of that? It's not really funny at
Now,
all.
there are people that have businesses going on for
Going
them.
on, yeah.
Now, let's not take away the experience, and there are a lot of persons that this NYSC have helped, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's because of NYSC they've been able to probably go to where is meant for them, if I must say. They've been able to, a lot of persons are scared of leaving their comfort zone.
Yes.
But NYSC have been able to allow them travel by fire, by force. You travel, you go there, you get the experience, you get the knowledge, and then you don't even want to go back. You've settled. Let's not take that away,
Yeah,
right? That
there
is
are
that
people
is
like
100%. But let us look at the negative side as well, right? There are lots of positives in this NYS, so don't get me wrong, but honestly, coppers are going through a lot. And I feel like it's not really looked into deeply, because maybe coppers are just finding, because Nigerians as a whole, we are resilient people.
Yeah.
We can adapt.
Yeah.
So right now, coppers are living on their highest level of adapting ability, and it's not supposed to be so, right? It's not supposed to be so, because if you are to ship somebody from the south to the west, personally, I was shipped from Port Harcourt to Oshogbo. Port Harcourt to Oshogbo is about 13 to 15 hours drive.
Wow.
Yes, it's about 13 to 15 hours drive. Now, imagine driving, and I've not been to Oshogbo before until this NYSC. Now, imagine coming down from there to here, straight to camp. After the 3 weeks of camp, where am I going to stay as a copper? If not for the likes of SCCF, Coppers Lodge, and then churches and all of that. After camp, where will a copper that does not know anybody, where is he going to stay?
They want you to collect hotel first.
No, but I think
Out of the
if-
3,000
if-
out of
out
the
of the
3.
three. But I think since they know the locations, actually, this still boils down to them making adequate plans. We don't know where we are going to be posted to. We don't even know how the places are. Some people go to, they are being posted to the village, and they get there. It's not actually convenient for them. But like we said, you have to adapt.
But
right?
if you remember
But-
clearly,
Yeah.
if you remember clearly, in your PPA letter, they wrote it there that accommodation is supposed to be provided.
Yes.
It was stated that accommodation will be provided.
Yeah.
Damn me. I don't believe that when they were sensitizing us at the camp, I asked a question like, okay, you said our employer must give us an accommodation. Okay, what if he insisted that he's not going to reject us and he's still not going to give us an accommodation? They said we'll have to report to the LGI. Why am I supposed to be staying till the time that I'll report to the LGI about my situation of things?
I think they didn't think it through very well. They didn't think it.
Seriously.
So that's why it's actually we have structures to make things work. Why we have structures is so that things can actually move smoothly, and they can be effective functions of everything that it involves, right? So I'm thinking, I know that there is somebody in charge of this welfare, the welfare of core members. So in looking at that office, you're not just looking at them coming to camp. What is the post program? What do I call it? Plan. When they leave camp, when they get their letter and they are being posted to different places that they don't even know, what happens to them? Some of them, are you even thinking of transportation to the place? We're talking about safety of core members. I might be posted to a place that I don't even know how to get there. But if we are being put into consideration, that's our welfare aspect. I think there should be buses. Yeah, there used to be, but like you said, NCCF and other church, stuff that comes to like. But I think
there's MCAN too.
yeah, but yeah, that's for the Muslims,
The
right?
Muslim
yeah.
purpose.
So, but I think that there is a structure in place to make things work.
Yeah.
So, what if we don't have NCCF? What if we don't have MCAN? What would happen to the core members? How would they get to their PPA location? How would they survive? Where would they live? Where I was posted to, the day I went there, my body changed. My body changed. They had to call the LGF. That place like, come and carry her. Oh. I could not stay. But again, I had to adapt, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, and I know that if these structures that have been put in place would work, things will be better for us. And they need to look into the 33K because it's not doing anything.
It's not.
Like I said, some people's own has finished before
Before it even comes.
Exactly. They hold
Do you
a
know
lot
what
of
actually pay me
people.
most? There are people out there thinks once you put on the NYSC uniform, you have it all.
You have money.
You are rich, your salary now,
that
you're collecting
mindset.
money by the end of the month. They'll think like, okay, this girl or this guy,
you're a
like he or
baller.
she's serving already. You have everything provided to you by the government. If I say you're a government child now, why will you be complaining?
Yeah, and then something with this uniform also. When they see you with this uniform, they just feel like you are made for life. While I was still in school, I was admiring this uniform. I was like, oh, I can't wait to serve. But being in
Everybody's
it right
dream.
now, I'm
Yes,
like,
no.
Can't wait to finish.
I even remember that time when I even wanted to buy something one day, and then I already knew the price of that particular thing, but then I just wanted to like check if it was actually right or not. And then this woman like increased the price of the is it because I'm wearing NYSC uniform? Now why you call this kind of price for me? I did not say anything, and I ended up changing to Mufti and went to another shop and ended up buying the price that I predicted. So that was when I just knew that the stereotype is just too much.
I think for some, they believe we are already receiving the 77K.
77K, exactly.
Do you get?
Yeah.
Until you explain to them that
Until you explain to them, they'll be like, really? Oh, I didn't know. But I'm even like, even if you know, must you cheat me because I am earning a particular amount of money?
Exactly.
It's my money. Just be sincere. Just be fair enough.
Now, we have not seen 77K, right? We are still on 33K.
Yeah.
Now there were should I say rumors, talks that we are going to be paid arrears, right? In as much as you were a serving copper from July. Now that is, let us write down as a prayer point, something like that.
arrears. That you're not even paying the money yet. You're still thinking
Now-
about arrears.
How can coppers survive? How can coppers try to, earn to just assist themselves? Because yes, it's not enough, but there's no magic we can do, right? Until they hear our voice and then they decide to implement the 77K. And don't even be surprised if that 77K, because human wants are was numerous and insatiable. How can coppers help themselves before governments help you? How can we help ourselves? Because don't forget, to during in camp, they taught you sideways.
Yeah.
They taught you sideways. What are we doing with that sideways? How can we help ourselves before government will come and help us?
So I think this is where learning a skill, like you said, during in camp,
Yeah.
we were having the Said session and all of that.
yes.
Well, I would say that for anybody that didn't pay attention to those classes, I don't know what your plan was, because well, we were expecting wasn't what we met, right? So I think this is where learning a skill, even if you missed it in camp, you still have an opportunity, a 1-year opportunity to make things right.
But you still have to pay.
Yeah, you have to
You
pay.
pay.
Yeah,
That's like 3,000 naira, you pay.
actually, but I would say learning a skill even before, like the way I was raised now, when we were in GSS 1, we started learning skills. My dad is into catering. So if you don't want to learn catering, go and learn something, because we know that the world will not always be the way it is. Things are changing, definitely. So you have to actually flow in. You have to be sensitive enough to flow in. As the world is changing, you are there. Do not let the world change and you are you are back. You are the
Correct,
back.
yeah.
Do you get? So learning a skill is important. As a young person, now this even goes to people that are still in secondary school because you still have opportunity to make things right. So learn a skill. Learn skills that would not go out of time, would not be outdated. Now we have graphic designing, we
Yeah.
have video editing, website creation. These are skills that, now let me even come to catering. Now, food, we would always eat food.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
coppers doing CDS meetings. Some of them are selling snacks, some of them are selling, food, different kind of things that that humans will need. That's like why I said you have to go into, when choosing a skill or anything you want to learn, it should be something that would not be outdated, something that would always fetch you money, even in the nearest 2, 3, 4 years to come. Because when the world changes and the skill is not needed, you go back to square one, starting to learn something new. But in as much as you have a skill that fetches you money and that cannot be outdated, what you just need to do is when the world increases or changes, you only just improve on that skill.
Yeah.
Do you understand? We have freelancing
now is that we should just revolutionize.
Yes,
Like once the world
yes.
changes, you try to bring up that skills to the level of
the changes in the world.
Changes that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get
Now-
like before now. Okay, if you were into food, we had people who do. You have to walk to a canteen or walk to a restaurant to get something to eat.
Yeah.
But right now, tech has been involved. You can order your food online.
Online.
You don't
And it to be delivered to your
and it to be
doorstep.
delivered to your doorstep, and it is what you ordered. is what you get.
Do you
Let's not go to what
do you
ordered versus what
think
get.
do you think that with Copper's schedule,
Okay.
do you think Coppers actually have all of this time to actually
my
go
point.
into businesses?
because we're asked to have only a day. That is
Because-
the day for our CGS, not to go to our PPA.
Yes.
So where is the time?
Weekend, and then Coppers do 9 to 4, 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Because it's basically a 9 to 5
It's
job
9 to
as a
5.
copper.
For me, well, I'm grateful to be here. For me, when I was reporting to my PPA, I made it clear to them, I'm not somebody that likes being stagnant. I don't like being caged to one thing. I am very, very, I like to be industrious. I like to be in different things. I don't like a boring or flat day. So when I went there, I reported with a mindset of, I might not be what you people think. I would need time to do certain things. There are days that, so I was able to outline some things.
So
when
we
I have my
negotiate.
classes, to
Negotiate.
negotiate.
Okay.
When I'm done with my classes, like now I'm taking English in a
Okay.
school. I was posted to a school. So when I'm done with my classes, what is actually important is that where you are posted to, your impact is felt. That's what's important. When I go to my school in the morning, I resume very early. I'm never late. I resume very early. I do the things I can do. I take my classes. When I am done, today I have so thing to do. And when I reported, I said, I will need this day off. Aside
Apart
from
from
my
your
Wednesday, which is my CDS day, I will need this day off to learn this thing. I told them, I was so open to them. I told them this is what I need to learn and I need time because I know that this 33K would not do anything. And if I don't want to be frustrated in my service year, I have to open my mind to welcome other things. So I think if you're going to, anyone that is going to, that is reporting to their PPA, people are understanding.
Let me just say that you're lucky.
Well, yeah,
Because
I know.
you're
you're-
considerate and it's
You are
very
part
considered that
of
you
you are part of the
can take a
privileged
day
few.
off.
Exactly.
You are part of the privileged
Work
few.
for
But I think this is
everyone.
where PPA authorities need to come look into. Looking at the money we are earning, they have to be considerate. We can't
Seriously.
survive on only 33K. Sometimes your transportation to your PPA alone, the 33K is half gone.
Seriously.
Then you have parents calling you. Parents even feel we are even collecting this 7K. So Chibuzo, send money for your mommy's upkeep. Mommy, we are surviving here. Oh, do you know those kind of things? So
They are
I think
thinking that
PPA
money
authorities
is much
should
is
be.
even a problem.
It's not. It's not. Look at the prices of rice. Is it beans?
Stock of
Is it
transportation.
not talk of transportation, water. So those things are not actually helpful at all.
And some people, their body are even sensitive that it reacts to the kind of environment that they have. That they have to take care of their skin. Out of that money. Because their parents at home think that, okay, you are collecting money now. You are collecting salary. I don't
need to
think I
give
Some
need
people
you
are
money
anything
for
upload
again.
sets, and like you said,
Exactly.
they had their life going on smoothly
You
with whatever
get-
job they were doing before. Now you're bringing them back to receiving being caged to 33K.
Yes.
And you're not bothered about it.
Let me use myself as an example. Okay, I'm a baker. I have my work. Like I'm a home baker.
Okay.
I bake at home. And since I've resumed here, serving in Osun State, I don't have an apartment yet. I'm staying in MCAN Lodge. And their rule is that apart from your clothes and your shoes, like things that you need, that are primarily that you need immediately, you are not allowed to bring any other thing in that lodge because we are much.
Oh.
There will not be enough space for other
So
people.
there are restrictions.
I can't bring my whole phone. I can't walk. Seriously. And that's my only source of income. Apart from the 33K that I'll collect at the end of the month. How am I supposed to survive? From that place to this place every day, I have to take transport. Out of that money, I will eat. How will I survive out of that 33K when I don't have a job doing it? Because I couldn't get apartments. My budget is quite low to the kind of apartment that I'm seeing. That one is like a particular problem on its own.
Accommodation, I think accommodation is the most serious
Yeah.
issues coppers are facing.
Yes.
Seriously.
Accommodation, because 8 out of 10 coppers do not get 8 out of 10 PPAs do not give out
accommodation. And they will
Yes,
still be saying it
accommodation.
confidently, we don't give accommodation here.
they do not give out accommodation. Now, coppers will have to sort for accommodation themselves. Now, your 1 year Alawi cannot even
Cannot.
At all.
your
It's not even
house.
enough for a
Imagine
rent.
you rent
rent.
an apartment of 450,000 naira and you calculate your alawi per
It's
year.
not-
It's not even
it's not
up to
even
400,000 naira.
Yeah.
it's not even up to.
And you know, most of the people that have not entered the scheme, they don't know because it is what is being placed out there. Like you said, we have it written on our letter that accommodation will be provided.
Yeah.
So in a way, they are depending on what they are seeing, and their expectation is wherever I'm posted to, I'll be taken care of. But when they get there, they hear something different. So again, is it that the bodies are not working together? Because what do you expect us to then do? When we go to places that we did not plan, we were thinking our hope is, accommodation will be given to us. And then we get there and we are dumbfounded. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. And we have to start calling home. Send something to me.
I had to call home.
I slept in a restaurant the first
seriously.
day I came. I slept in a restaurant.
Wow.
Trust me, yeah. The first day I came to Osogbo, I didn't know anybody. It was so rough. That's why I said if I go into details, it was so rough. I had to sleep when I went for my documentation and everything. I sat down there and then I was like, okay, God, what is next?
What's
No
next?
accommodation. I don't know any agent. I don't even know how to speak Yoruba. I will say, okay, let me rapport and then I'll find my way out. I just sat down there after documentation with my bag and everything. God, what is going to happen? Even the woman, the lady, the owner of the restaurant had to be like, just stay here for the night. At least the night you can be looking at what you can fix and do. That was how I stayed in a restaurant. And then I called. So our local government inspectors, I was like, I called. I'm coming. I'll get back to you. I was on God though. It was just that woman that just saved me. Before I was able to make some arrangements and someone gave me Coppers Lodge, my church, and they were like, they have this Coppers Lodge somewhere. Now looking at where I was posted to where the Coppers Lodge is.
Distance.
Oh my God. That was another thing. And I was like, how do I do this? So if I'm going to my initial PPA, I'm going to be spending nothing less than 3K daily.
A day.
To and fro.
Yeah, and you're expected to go Monday to Friday,
except
only the day,
And
that
your
you have your
4
CA.
days in a week.
So how do I survive? That's not even, I'm not talking of food, just transportation. So what will happen to such a copper? If I didn't have that help and I was supposed to rent an apartment with the way the apartment is on the increasing side, total package 455. I'm like,
That
"Sir,
total
do you know we are
package is
coppers?"
even the problem.
Like,
Seriously. They will tell you that rent is 150K. Total
and the total
package
is
450K. I'm like, okay, I don't want total
like,
package.
the
Give
exact
me
amount of
rent.
the
Just
rent
let me stay in the room.
So I
omo.
think that needs to be considered.
Exactly.
We need to have, if at all they'll be giving apartments, they need to be like Coppers Lodge with a very friendly accommodation price.
Budget
So when
friendly.
this person comes, he's a copper, and then you know that this person, because it's not possible to be serving in your state, so they are actually throwing you somewhere else or shipping you to somewhere.
Do you know one thing about those agents? Their belief is that, okay, you're a copper, then they give you extra price.
Do you get?
Apart from the normal price that they're supposed to collect from people that rent their apartments, they believe that you don't have a choice. This is not your state. You'll have to just take it like that.
I think
That's their point of
these
view.
are one of the things like governments need to look into. You know,
yes.
they should have some sort of I don't know, policy with this house owners, landlords, or whatever. When you see a copper, it should be nationwide or something. When a copper comes to you with like an ID card, your copper's ID card, valid ID card, or
Like a
something,
fixed price.
there should be a standard rate nationwide for
Looking
coppers.
at how much we are receiving.
Yes, from what
Being considered,
coppers can afford nationwide, so that because you don't carry somebody from miles away and then throw them somewhere else and then they'll start to go and start paying total package. I don't even understand what total package means.
As in till now.
Now, and then another problem coppers face is that point of traveling, that first trip from your house to wherever it is you're going to. You have never been to before. You have never been to. I had a friend, I had friends that would travel. I had a friend that traveled from Port Harcourt down to Kogi, and then she even slept on the road. Her first time, you even sleep on the road and then continue the next
journey.
day. Imagine the risk.
There was a friend of mine
Coppers
in a group
thick.
that they posted her to Akwa Ibom. I think she stays in Lagos or somewhere far. And she was like, Akwa Ibom, I'm not going this year. Cancel. Like, because she's like, God Almighty, what will happen to me? When I get there, just like you said, that first day trip, what will happen to me? Who am I going to talk to? What if the location is not a very friendly
wise
location, and you can see people that help you and say, okay, come and stay here and all of that. And I think this should also be looked into. When you see coppers, we are supposed to have a certain kind of respect.
And you should just accommodate us.
Yes, when you see them on their uniform, welcome. We are serving in your state. Welcome us, make us feel, you're at home. Don't make us feel like, I wish I was in my normal hometown, or I wish I was just where I was, and all of that. So that should also be looked into when posting coppers. Adequate arrangements and preparation should be made, so that we don't find ourselves in a position where we are thinking, should this NYC thing be scrapped? Should this even be scrapped? Because it's very frustrating, I should say.
Now, how do you guys, what are the areas do you guys think government can adjust? Government should look into properly to make life for coppers easier. What do you think are the ways that governments can, adjust things for coppers to live life easier, to make this experience easier in general?
Yeah. I think if I remember clearly, when we started having inflation in Nigeria, it was still like okay until around that 2023 ending, and then the inflation just went so high. I think that was when the old budget of the 77k came in.
Yeah.
But they didn't plan well. I think that was the fault of the government. They didn't plan well that this NYSC, we are not talking about 100 of people, we are talking about thousands of people.
Yeah.
So having to drop maybe like 1 billion for NYC alone can be like, how are we going to do that apart from the other economy activities that they have to attend to? So I think government should just sit down and think clearly, and I don't know, maybe reduce the years. I mean, maybe you serve for like 3 months, another batch you come and serve again 3 months. Because having to do this whole NYC for 1 year with that kind of plan doesn't really make sense.
Or do you think government should cut the number of coppers they
From
collect?
my own perspective,
I feel
from my own
What's the number
perspective
of
here,
coppers?
I think they know our PPAs. They know where we are posted to.
Yeah.
The first step that they should take, okay, they don't want to reduce the years, they don't want to increase the salary, they want us to adapt, and they want us to mingle with other ethnic groups. That's why they are posted to another place, right? But you know where you are posting us to. I think they should just have a meeting with those PPA at first. We want comfort for our people that are coming to your space. Do not inconvenience them. Okay, you don't have accommodation. You have to make a provision that will be enough for them. In as much as the one that you are not providing accommodation for them, the money that you are going to be giving them in replace of that accommodation should be the one that will be enough for their transport, where they will be staying. Not only the accommodation alone, but their transport too should be inclusive.
Do you really think it is fair to dump all of these responsibilities on PPA?
are working for them after all.
No, I think just like I said earlier, there are structures, and if, like you said, maybe they didn't plan well, terms of reference should be stated clearly. Oh, I'm in charge of welfare. What does it entail? What is it? When you say welfare, are we talking about the accommodation? You know, things should be allocated. Like you said, you can't leave all the burden on PPA, the authorities. You can't actually.
They're not taking all the burden, but governments that we're talking about, they can't see everywhere. I think it's just like the levels of government, what the federal government, the state government, and local government. I think the PPA are the ones that are close to us that can still give them feedback.
Yeah.
Imagine a copper misbehaving. PPA will write letter to the LGI now.
Definitely.
ASAP, very quick.
That's just it. They are the ones that they can communicate with. Then if the PPA are not ready, like if they are not okay with it, then they bargain with the government. The ones that will be better for them, because they are the closest ones to us. Imagine a lot of core members that are in a particular local government that will be calling their LGI. It's just one person, no. Imagine the kind of body that will be on the LGI. But we have various PPAs. And they have the direct contact with the LGI by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what these people want. Okay, you want us to do this. We're not comfortable with this terms and conditions that you are giving us. Okay, this is the one that we can manage. They can have a board meeting with them. Then they tell them what they are comfortable with. Then they go on with it. Because I don't think governments can go to each
At all.
No, they
each
can't.
core member
Yeah, they can't.
and get their welfare done.
No, they can't. That's
It's
why
just
I
through
said
their PPA.
structures should be made, and the terms of reference should be stated clearly. If we are going to have, I don't know, if we're going to have, because the proof of structure is seeing it working, is having results of the structures. So
Yeah.
if we say we have different, maybe state coordinators, different welfare directors, different ministry of, should I say commissioner for youth in the different states, we should see the work. Man, own up to your own responsibility. Take charge of your own location.
Let's
Do you get
see it.
Because sometimes you find out that this thing can actually differ. There are some people in other states serving that they are enjoying. They are flexing.
Correct, yeah.
You see it on social media.
E.g., Lagos.
Yes, so
Why do you think most couples are like, I want to be in Lagos, I want to be in Lagos? Why? Their structures are working. You find out that now coming to PPA, there are some people that they'll post you out of what you even have idea of. I studied this. You are posting me to take this. How do you want me to be effective in this thing you are telling me to do? Do you understand? So I think for each state, they should look into improving their own the youth's welfareism and development. So they should look into it. Let the couples that are coming into their states be proud. Like, I want to always be in this Benue state. I want to always be in, this so state. Why? Because of the way they handle couples. So I think that would work. And
So before we leave, before we end, I think we have like maybe one or two advice for corporate. Even though the economy is tough, everything is hard.
Yeah.
What are your advice for corporates and your advice for government as well?
in terms of coppers, you mean incoming or the
Yes,
ones?
like what do you think corporates should do? Like corporates,
PCMs or serving coppers.
PCMs. My advice for PCMs out there: before you leave your house for camp, PCM incoming. I think it's A1 that is coming.
A1, yes,
is coming.
A1, no.
A1
Kalewa
members
skill.
has to be a copper, not be beans. So
I swear. it's
not be
small
rice
matter.
and dodo.
At all.
You have to first of all keep money for yourself. I think one of the hardest part of this NYC thing that you probably would not realize is that 3 weeks in camp.
Yes.
That 3 weeks in camp is not funny.
yeah.
There
It's
is no
not funny.
amount of money that you want to have that you will not feel it.
Because after that 3 weeks in camp, you don't have space or an avenue to want to go and start looking for money. So you have to look for whatever money you want to look for before.
That
You
3
enter
weeks of
camp.
Yes.
So PCMs, look for money.
And be mentally ready.
And
Yes.
be mentally
Kilo.
Be
be mentally ready.
Yeah.
Be mentally ready. Be physically ready.
Emotionally
Be emotionally ready. Because people cry in camp every
cry.
day. People are fainting.
For real.
People are fainting in camp every day because they are fainting and crying in camp because they were not ready.
They were
not
not.
because the activities
No.
are strenuous, but because you are not physically ready,
because we're not even used to that kind
health-wise, you're not even
environment.
ready. And probably because PCMs don't actually have the complete 360 view of what they're
Yes, we were
It's
not
only the
sensitized
internet
at all. We
to
were not
what
even
it
of what to face.
sensitized.
Maybe because they are not even paying attention to it. We just want to wear white and wear
They
white
believe
and
people that are telling you out there that it's not
Just
easy, like they are
want to wear-
lying.
That's why
they
I
don't
said
want you
what
to go
you
there
are
and
seeing
have the
out there might not
experience.
be what
Idea.
you're going to experience. So you have to prepare mentally for
So
it.
PCMs, be mentally ready, be financially ready, very important, be physically ready, be spiritually ready as well. And then coppers, try to cut your coat according to your material, not according to your
Exactly.
size. If you cut according to your size, the main material can't finish. So cut your coat according to your material. If the 33K is not enough, try to
be productive.
Try
Yes,
to be
try another
productive.
method.
Try to, if it is one cup of gari a day, just try. And then federal government should
Please air your house. They
help
should air
us.
us out.
Yeah.
Coppers are going through a lot.
A lot.
Coppers are suffering.
Yes, we
It's not even funny. Coppers are going through a lot. If coppers want to come out one by one to start saying their personal experience, people will be in tears. People will be in tears because coppers are suffering. Nobody would even sugarcoat it. Coppers are going through a lot. So government should please hear us and do something about this. Now we are happy that at least there is a chance of 77K. Let us start seeing it. Coppers were in hope that from
Yeah.
January
Yeah.
we'll start seeing this. In fact, we're not even talking about areas. Just give us 77K first, please. So government should try and come to our aids. The 77K, whatever means of accommodation we can get. So let's government try. So thank you very much, guys, for joining this session. It was an amazing session, and thank you to our guests for coming.
Thanks for honoring our invite.
Guests, Betsy, thank you so much, and my beautiful co-hosts, Dami and Balikis, and of course my name. I remain your one and only Mr. Alfred Emmanuel. Thank you guys for having this session with us, and thank you again for our beautiful and amazing guests.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Miss
honoring our
Joyce.
invite.
Thank you very much, our capacity mama. We'd love to have you again whenever. Thank you very much. And to our audience out there, this remains Honest Hour podcast, proudly and ably brought to you by Zibaha Entertainment, and we'll be coming your way again same time next week. And thank you very much, guys.